Guys, I'm so excited because I've got my Away soft side suitcase that's so chic and cute as I hop on the plane for a quick jaunt to do my show in Las Vegas. It fits everything from my heels to my sexy sparkly dress, all in the carry-on bag because the soft side makes it that I can even fit more. I love how it just opens up and I can just pack so much in what feels like a huge deep space, but then zip it up and it's still the size of a carry-on. You got to check out the new soft side luggage from Away. Head on over to awaytravel.com and use code JuicyScoop to save 15% on any Away suitcase. That's awaytravel.com. Code JuicyScoop to save 15% on any Away suitcase. Offer ends 12/31/24 at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time. Everybody has a hair type, and I love Way because their shampoo and conditioners are made to deliver what is just right for you. I get dryness, especially at the end of my hair, and that is why I absolutely love Way's conditioning hair mask. It is for fine to medium and thick hair types, but it instantly restores hydration, fights frizz, and strengthens the strands. Wash your way to healthy hair and get your hair routine that's made just for you by Way. Go to THEOUAI.com and use promo code JUICY for 15% off any product. That's THEOUAI.com, code JUICY.
Heather McDonald has got the juiciest scoop. When you're on the road, when you're on the go, Juicy Scoop is the show to know. She talks Hollywood tales, her real life Mr. Segment serial data and serial sister. You'll be addicted and addicted fast to the #1 tabloid real life podcast. Listen in, listen up. Woo woo. Heather McDonald, Juicy Scoop.
Hello and welcome to Juicy Scoop. Guys, I have so much juicy scoop that I've been gathering everything that's going on in pop culture, the news, updates, all of it. We're going to get into it right now. But first, I just want to thank everybody who came to the Las Vegas show at the Venetian this Saturday. We had such a fun weekend. And the next show is with the hilarious Tammy Pescatelli on October 4th at the Parks Casino in Philadelphia. Okay. Then Chris Frangiola joins me for Ridgefield, Connecticut on October 5th. October 6th is Boston at the Wilbur Theater. Then we come back and we join together in Minneapolis on October 18th and Chicago October 19th. All those days are at heathermcdonald.net. And also my OC people, I will be at the Irvine Improv for 5 shows. 2 on November 8th of stand-up and November 9th stand-up, and then November 10th, a live Juicy Scoop, which is always surprise guests and mayhem. Okay. Like the mayhem that I had Friday night, it was Brandy's idea. She got us tickets to Thunder Down Under. This is the Australian version. They claim that every single guy is, in fact, from Australia. We had very good seats, so good that I got chosen to go up. We did film it. We shared it at the live show. This is the fun things about the live show because this video was pretty insane. And it reminded me of when the girls went to a show like this on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. And Sutton was like, it's not about the pants. Because they said, Sutton, you wanted to be pulled up. And then you heard her on my show and she said, it was just a lot. It was just, I did not like the spreading of the legs. My particular thing did not involve that. And I did wear a cute dress. But it involved a lot of other crazy stuff. And, but it really is such a fun time. And they were so nice and they were all really cute. So I highly suggest if you're coming to Vegas to go do something like going to Thunder Down Under because it was fun. And then so fun that OK Magazine wrote about it. And they wrote, Heather McDonald got on stage this weekend in Vegas at Thunder from Down Under with Julie Goldman and Brandy Howard. They were in town for Heather's live show, The Juicy Scoop Experience. So look at OK, just getting the scoop for my Instagram. Thank you. I love to do a meet and greet, and this cute girl came and she brought me this. I know it looks a little weird, but it's a cover for my suitcase. So that my suitcase, if I want, will even be that much more recognizable. And it's a photo of me juicy scoop, the earrings were fake of me when I revealed that, which was about a year ago. So what a great circle of life and what a fun weekend we had. Best time ever. Okay, now let's get into all that's happened in the last few days. Just breaking news right now. Sean Diddy Combs is at the same Brooklyn detention center that held R. Kelly, Sam Bankman-Fried, and other high-profile inmates. So actually, Brandon just brought me this story, and I don't think they're there together right now. I think this is more like the holding jail for people. But anyway, just to remind you that back in 99, R. Kelly and P. Diddy did do a song called Satisfy You. So, if they do end up in the same prison, hey, they're getting the band back together. What can I say? Just a bunch of creeps. He's on suicide watch, P. Diddy. He's been wanting to get out. He's not. They're not going to let him out before trial. I'm just going to go through so much information has been brought up and discussed. I'm going to cover everything that I've seen from TikTok to Twitter to X to social media, YouTube channels. A lot of inside people have spoken about this prior to the arrest and after, and I'm just going to cover what I have gathered and give you my theories. Okay. This one, Page 6 is also found this video, and it's P. Diddy being interviewed by Conan O'Brien. And it's obviously a few years ago because Conan hasn't been on in a while, his show. But Conan's like, what are these P. Diddy parties? And what's some of the things? And P. Diddy's like, well, first you got to, make sure you have all the different kind of alcohol. And he goes, what kind of alcohol? He goes, all the alcohols. And then he says, and you need the locks on the doors so the girls don't leave. And the audience just roars with laughter. Yeah, I mean, you're in a place where you're in the audience and you're supposed to be laughing at these interviews. But God, I bet if you were even at that taping now, you're feeling kind of weird. Like, am I going to be called in? Am I going to be questioned? Was I invited to a P. Diddy? I laughed at a joke where P. Diddy talked about females being locked and not being able to leave the party. There's videos of the outdoor backyard getting ready for like another white party. And there is in the middle of like chairs and, white, like where they bring in furniture, like on the grass. And here's like a bar over here. And it's still daylight when this video was shot. No one was there yet. And there is a big white bed, like with a white sheet on it in the middle that could fit, 45 people. And there was a restaurant in Miami called Bed where people would eat their food and lay on beds. Ironically, when I was going on the tour of Pompeii back in July, they said that the richest people back in those days, Roman times, would actually eat on beds. They would eat on beds, and because that was like the ultimate sign of being rich, that someone would just like feed you food on the bed. I don't know. So it's very weird because I do feel like a lot of what I'm hearing about P. Diddy's parties and how he ran his life is very much like what was going on in Roman times, where it was, sex with women and men and parties and Roman baths and orgies and power, and everybody did whatever it was for the king to stay in his good graces. It is. So when people say, like, is this the end of times? Is this the end of the Roman Empire? Like, what is, it's very, very weird. Okay, so there was that. Also resurfaced police interrogation video obtained by Real World Police. That is just a YouTube channel called Real World Police, where I guess they share information like this. I don't know who was interrogating this guy, but I think it happened in Florida. So it was some police in Florida. And he's in an interrogation room. And it shows this ex-porn star named Jonathan Odie telling the cops that he had allegedly been Sean Diddy Combs' sex slave. I've watched this video. The guy is, bald. He looks well into his 40s. He was arrested for something pretty bad. And it was 2018. And he's just telling these stories. He's like, yeah, Cassie was there. And I guess at the time the police were like, what? Like, this is so many years ago. They're probably like, who is this? What is this wackadoo story he's telling? because he was arrested for something like unrelated to trafficking and stuff like that. So he goes on to say that he was basically P. Diddy's sex slave and that he would have sex with Cassie and that he was there and he would hear Diddy doing business dealings on the phone and on the TV. I guess what he means like a Skype or something. So that is there. And it's just, so now that's all these videos of even little things of people being at parties, joking, feeling uncomfortable. They're all coming up, and there's so many celebrities that now we're seeing something taken out of context, but in light of what's going on, doesn't look good. I'm proud to say I've never been invited to a P. Diddy party at all, and I've actually never met him nor taken a photo with him. Okay. Here he is with Harvey Weinstein. And like I said before, of course, not a million, but probably, 100 prominent celebrities have a photo with Harvey Weinstein because Oscars, Golden Globes, events, things like that. You're in a gown, he's in a suit, and you're trying to get in a movie. Doesn't mean that you knew what was going on with him, just like these situations. But these parties are like another story with P. Diddy. Then, as I was leaving Las Vegas this weekend and going to take jet suites home to Burbank, I saw Rick Ross's private jet. This is like not a good photo, but it's a big jet, and it says Rick Ross on it with the S being money signs. And I'm like, oh, that's interesting. So I'm like, was Rick Ross friends with? So then I go down the Rick Ross rabbit hole. And yeah, there's tons of videos of them talking about washing cars with this slippery soap and like shirts off, and one where it looks like they're about to kiss. And I mean, there's a lot in there. Rick Ross's ex-girlfriend, mother of one of his children, she's singing like a canary, talking about all the things going on with him. Then let's not forget that Cat Williams, also, he's not a psychic because he knew what was up, but he did say this is all going to come down in 2024. This is the interview that Cat Williams did, Club Shay Shay. It got 50 million views. It was crazy. And even I talked about it and I was like, I don't know, some of these stories seem a little far-fetched. So I want to apologize to Cat Williams. One of the things was that he was saying he was offered all this money to have sex. And he even says, give my virgin butthole to P. Diddy for $50 million, and I wouldn't do it. And I was like, $50 million? What? He's like, I was offered it 4 times. So now, of course, people are going back to that video. But one thing he said was, this is all going to be exposed. And I did listen to the interview, and it was shocking. I mean, it really... it was so much that you were like, wait, is all this true? Could some of it be exaggerated? Definitely he was probably propositioned, but it doesn't really mean that he was like kept out of Hollywood in any way. It's just insane. Anyway, getting back to Cat Williams, everyone is like, I mean, listen, if Cat's on tour, which I hope he is, I'd buy that ticket. I mean, who knows what he'll be. If he hasn't spilled it all in that interview, it just would be cool to see his reaction now of like, I told you so. I told you so. Here's P. Diddy and Russell Brand on a private jet. Again, just because you went on a private jet with P. Diddy doesn't mean that you were not just, happy to be on a private jet. Hey, we're going to the same place. Want to hop on? Sure. But again, these are the things that keep popping up, all these people. Usher. So there was a story that came out that all of Usher's X, former Twitter, whole thing was gone. He just removed it. And I was like, that's weird. We know that Usher kind of came up under P. Diddy and also brought Justin Bieber in. So a lot of people are thinking there's a connection there. Jaguar Wright, who I talked about before, she's this songwriter. She has been singing like a canary on these interviews for years, talking about all this stuff. And she mentions, who she thinks should be prosecuted with P. Diddy. And she says it so confidently, and she was part of that music world. I mean, it's fascinating. Look her up. She is bringing up a mistress that Jay-Z had, alleged mistress that Jay-Z had who was pregnant, who died of a head injury. And then they said, oh, no, actually, it was just a brain aneurysm. And so there was a connection there. She is bringing up so many other people. She was saying that Usher was involved. She is saying just for the stuff that they did to Justin Bieber, they should all be prosecuted. Now, listen, we don't know what's going to happen, and we don't know what's on these videos that they supposedly, got when they raided the house, when they saw the 1,000 bottles of baby oil, which, by the way, I saw an interview with his defense attorney who said, now, owning a lot of baby oil is not, a crime. This whole thing is all about consensual adults and their sex lives. And I doubt it was 1,000 bottles. And he literally said, and Costco is down the street from him. So I'm like, oh my God, exactly what we said. Anyway, then Usher came and said, it was hacked. I did not purposely take down my ex account. It was hacked, and I still have a show coming up. So there you go. Meanwhile, Justin Bieber is not addressing any of this. He is just being a dad to his new baby. And of course, all these videos of Justin are coming up from when he was little, when Bridget Nielsen was grabbing and kissing him as he came to the stage, when James Corden was like sniffing him and was like, you smell good. How old are you? And he, when do you turn, how old are you? Only 16? Oh, I've never smelled that good when I was 16. And I mean, it was a lowbrow joke to go to that like everybody was horny for Justin Bieber. I've talked about, I was on a show that we did similar type jokes about. But when you see him and around Usher and around P Diddy, and P Diddy being like, you don't call me anymore. Why aren't we hanging out? And he's like, well, I don't know. I've just been like kind of busy. And it is just like chilling. Like, what did happen? And it's one of those things that I really think that there's a lot of people in the music industry that got presented with this great opportunity to kind of, get to a place where everyone would hear your music through P Diddy and his connections. And then from there, you don't ever have to go visit P Diddy again. Just like when I would say, I think there's actresses that went along with what was required to get in a Harvey Weinstein film, to jump to the place where you are going to be in a movie. And then after that, you never have to screw another disgusting person again, because now we've all seen that you're a truly talented actress and you've been nominated for an Oscar. And from there, you can live your own life. You don't have to do the casting couch or whatever, or the casting bed with 20 million people. But that is what I think happened. And then I think in the cases of P. Diddy, these videos are what kept people staying in line and being quiet, because there's, evidence of them at a freak off doing some freaky things. Part of it too is just where you have been given so much, you get to a level and now you can have every girl you want. Now you can have 2 girls in a bed. Now you can have 3. Okay, now let's try something more. That's not satisfying me. Now let's incorporate men. Now let's have orgies. Now what's the next thing? So I do believe there's some people, just like someone would say there's a gateway drug. I think with certain people, and when they have the power, it's just like, what is the thing that's going to excite me more and more and more? How can I up the level? How can I up the thing that I did last month? I don't know. This is just insane. And so he's staying quiet, doing his own thing. This video is very, very suspicious. This one is a video that someone's like, remember this. Diddy was patting down Justin for a wire. It was one of those things. He was definitely grown. Maybe he was like 18 or something, but young. And it's a video. I don't know what it's from. This is coming from the site called Live from the Plaza. And he's like, hey. And it looks like he's patting it looks like he's patting Justin down for a while. It really does. He's like, hey, and he's whispering in his ear. And it's like, it really looks suspicious the way he's touching him. So that's crazy. Guys, I'm so excited because I've got my Away soft side suitcase that's so chic and cute as I hop on the plane for a quick jaunt to do my show in Las Vegas. It fits everything from my heels to my sexy sparkly dress, all in the carry-on bag because the soft side makes it that I can even fit more. The suitcase seriously looks better than any old school soft side suitcases I've seen, and it is designed to be lighter than others on the market. Softside comes in 4 of their best-selling sizes and tried and true colors. There is something for everyone in the lineup. 2 carry-on sizes, 2 check sizes, 4 colors, black, blue, gray, and pink, which is what I chose. Made from high-strength nylon, the bag is tear-resistant as well as weather-resistant. I love how it just opens up and I can just pack so much in what feels like a huge, deep space, but then zip it up and it's still the size of a carry-on. You got to check out the new soft side luggage from Away. Head on over to awaytravel.com and use code JuicyScoop to save 15% on any Away suitcase. That's awaytravel.com. Code JuicyScoop to save 15% on any Away suitcase. Offer ends 12/31/24 at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time. I talk a lot about JLo, and you know I've always been obsessed with her skin and wondering what she uses. Well, now it's time that we need to talk about Goddess of Glow, JLo. Get that JLo glow for yourself with JLo Beauty's Deluxe Kit, the one and done skincare solution clinically proven to tighten and lift for instant, long-lasting results. The secret is JLo Beauty's easy 5-step routine, perfect for glowing skin. Cleanse, treat, moisturize, protect. That JLo Deluxe Kit does it all. This 5-piece set removes makeup, pollution, and SPF. It gives your skin a smoother, visibly brighter look, improves the appearance of fine lines and wrinkles, and protects against UVAs and UVBs. I absolutely love the JLo Glow Serum. It helps my skin look more lifted. I see an immediate lasting glow with a daily use, and I absolutely love it. Want that JLo glow? Head to jlobeauty.com/JuicyScoop and get a special gift of her 4 free masks for Juicy Scoop listeners. Head to jlobeauty.com/JuicyScoop for 4 free masks and free shipping today. jlobeauty.com/JuicyScoop. This is the one I was talking about, the Jay-Z mistress. So what was going on with that? There are a lot of very suspicious deaths around P. Diddy's circle of people. And I don't know how many of those are really going to be investigated or anything. I think what they are going to do is they're going to say like, hey, there's possibly 100 crimes here, but we're going to focus on these 5 because these 5, we have all the evidence to convict him. And of these 5, he's going to go away to life anyway. So a lot of these other like very suspicious things, whether it's Tupac to Kim Porter, I don't know that will ever be truly investigated in the criminal system. I don't know, because it's like they might just not put their energy in there if they feel like they've got slam dunks in other places. With Kim Porter, there is people are saying, oh, the Kim Porter book is out. You can now Google like Kim Porter's True Words or something, and there's this little book, and you can buy it and you can read it for like $27. And people are posting it and reading it, giving little excerpts. And I don't know if that's real. I don't know if someone just wrote a book as Kim Porter and then put it on the internet and self-published it to sell. The way some of it reads seems like it's someone pretending to be her. Do I think that her death was suspicious? Yes, I absolutely do. I don't understand how a 43-year-old healthy, beautiful woman dies of pneumonia, though I know some people have in the last decade, but it does seem very suspicious. And I wonder if she was not happy with the fact that her sons were possibly participating in the freak-offs. And I think that's where she was like, oh no, I've had it. This is just my theory. I think that she was like, oh no, absolutely not. I'm going to fucking tell. I'm going to expose you, you sick fuck, something like that. And he was like a mafia guy, to keep the empire going, this one needs to go. I mean, it's a horrible accusation because she's the mother of his kids, but I think that is what people are thinking, okay? And it sort of makes sense now that we know what a monster he is. This is from a Facebook page called Juranisha R. James. And basically, this person put down all the names that people are looking at. And again, this doesn't mean that anybody, that any of these people are on video doing anything criminal, okay? But these are the people that were like in the circle that are being talked about. And it's Steve Stout, Russell Simmons, Eve, Aaron Hall, and then he puts VIP. I don't know what that means next to it. Jay-Z, Ashton Kutcher, Beyonce, Rick Ross, Steve J, Dr. Dre, Usher, Meek Mill, let me see, Drake, not my son, the other one, David Beckham, LeBron James, The Game, Justin Bieber, and then they put in parentheses, might be a victim, because of course he was too young to willingly be there. Little Rod, Cuba Gooding Jr., J-Lo, Young Miami, Daphne Joy, Bishop T-Day Jakes, Chris Brown, Jade Rami, and Ray J. VIP. I guess that means, I don't know what that means. So these, I'm just telling you guys so that you're up on, because who has time to go through all this stuff? But that's what is happening. And then a lot of people are just, being quiet. Here's a photo at a white party with Leonardo DiCaprio. But again, he's just at a white party. A lot of people went to those white parties. Doesn't mean they were part of the freak off, which either happened after or on a totally different location, different level, different hotel room. I don't know. These big parties were more like PR parties. I mean, there were people dressed up. There was a red carpet. There was a lot of video. So I'm guessing the freaky shit didn't happen at those. That's just my opinion. This photo, I think, is an AI generated photo. There's a AI generated song from Justin Bieber that it's not Justin Bieber never put out this song. And it's like, went to a Diddy party, ended up driving a Ferrari. And like, it sounds just like a Justin song, but it's not real. And I don't know if this photo is real, but it shows like a messy, very elaborate bathroom. And it shows all the bottles of baby oil and some clothes strewn and what looks like to be like cops. So then someone said, who in the feds are leaking this? But I don't know that photo is real. Then their Radar Online is asking, what does Khloe Kardashian know? Kardashian boasted in an eerie video that she partied with Diddy where everyone was butt naked. That is from the Kardashians. They're like bowling with Kourtney, and Kourtney's like, oh, where were you last night? She's like, I was at a Diddy party. You don't need to know about it, but everybody was butt naked. Now, this is what I remember. And I'm not saying my memory is 100% real. But I remember back in the day when I was getting to know the Kardashians that Khloe ended up not going to regular high school. She was being homeschooled. And at one time she worked for P Diddy. That's what I remember. I don't know how long it was for. I don't know if she was just separating jelly beans to put in his home or if she was anything. But it might make sense why years later she was still friendly to be invited to a party. Then, of course, Corey Gamble, Chris's boyfriend for many years, when she met him, he was just coming off of being Justin Bieber's tour manager. He was also there when Kim Porter was found dead. There was a photo of him as a friend of these people, maybe just giving support. So they're being talked about, but that's the only connections that I really can see. J-Lo, they caught her just out doing errands. Just nothing to look at here, people. I'm not worried. Now, J-Lo was there when the shooting happened back in 99 when she was dating him, and she had it was after Selena. After she appeared in Selena is when she started to really take off with her own music, which is like, I'm just Jenny from the block. And we got to a place where like, oh, her songs are really fun and hip. And then she was dating P Diddy. That situation happened with the shooting. She was there. She was not part of like the trial or anything, but she was there. She broke up with him shortly after. And now this guy said, and I didn't do it. That now the guy that went to prison for 9 years, who was from Belize and who was back in Belize, he is now saying, I took the fall for Diddy. I was never the one who shot this woman in the face. It was Diddy. Again, that trial, that's been done. I doubt that that's going to be part of this whole thing. I think they're just really going to focus on trafficking, paying people, moving them from all the elements of trafficking and racketeering, which is like the blackmail part of things. That is what they're going to focus on, in my opinion. Jamie Foxx, he was mentioned as a friend. Well, whatever. He was at his daughter's wedding this weekend, walking her down the aisle, living his life. But some people think when he had that unusual illness and no one really knew what happened, does that have anything to do what was brewing with P Diddy? I don't think so. I think he had an illness, and when you're a famous person, you don't want that to be more exposed or talked about because you want to still be hired for movies. So you're like, let me get over this illness and let people know that I'm doing great. Here I am. I'm walking my daughter down the aisle. I'm ready to go and keep working, keep filming. Don't worry about putting insurance on me. I'm, a healthy guy now. So we still don't really know what his illness was about. P. Diddy has 7 kids. I didn't know he had 7 kids. I know he has the twin daughters with Kim Porter and 2 boys with Kim Porter. So I don't know who the other 3 kids are, but they are, and some of the boys were at these parties with him, some of the sons. Were there on the court date. They're concerned. We'll see if they have any part of it. Diddy's longtime PR guru, Natalie Moore, she has quit. She just disabled her email. This is from Baller Alert. She has disconnected her number, and that is it. She's just like, yeah, I'm not part of this anymore. Goodbye. And she was his PR person for years. Very strange. Then also, this comes from Voices for Britney. This is not a huge account on Instagram. Came to my attention. And they brought up the fact that Lou Taylor, who is female manager, all involved in the Free Britney stuff. Britney accused her, which I'll read Britney's post from 2022. And this other woman, Robin Green, that they were part, and they've had dealings with P. Diddy and his businesses as well. And this is what Britney wrote in 2022 under an IG photo. A week before they sent me away to that fucking place, TriStar invited me to their offices. The swanky, suited up bitches, meaning these 2 women, so nice, and we're here to make you feel special. I had lunch with Lou Taylor and Robin Greenhill. They said, Britney, look at your picture on the wall with a huge black and white frame picture in the hall of their offices. They sucked up to me and made me feel special. Those same bitches killed me a week later. My dad worshipped those 2 women and would have done anything they asked of him. I think they were trying to kill me. I still to this day believe that's exactly what they're trying to do, but not a damn thing was wrong with me and I didn't die. Nobody else would have lived through what they did to me. I lived through all of it and I remember all of it, and I will sue the shit out of TriStar. Well, that was 2 years ago. I don't know. But also Lou Taylor, Kanye said Lou Taylor was trying to get him in a conservatorship too. And Kanye had said things about Corey Gamble working for the CIA. And I mean, it is so many things. So this is the juicy scoop. I don't have all the answers, but I am telling you the conversations that are going on in Hollywood behind closed doors, but also all the internet sleuths that are pulling up their videos and things from the past. Okay, moving on. I thought this was so bizarre. You remember Balthazar. It's a famous restaurant in New York. And I don't know why this guy, Keith McNally, has such a beef with Lauren Sanchez, who is the fiance of Jeff Bezos of Amazon. She wrote a little kid's book called The Fly That Flew. The Fly That Flew, okay? It's a kid's book because she is a helicopter pilot. And she had a party with the Kardashians. She's close to the Kardashian women and posted a photo of her book launch. And he just made a separate post about it and just was just a really nasty, mean thing. And people are like, what is the beef? And he'd written about her before. It's so bizarre. What are you trying to do? Like, you have a restaurant, you're 70 years old. I don't understand it. It's very strange why he's got it out for this woman. Hayden Panettiere she's on the cover of People. She did a many-page article about where she's been, what's been going on. She has a project coming out. And part of that was there was a video interview with her and that People put out. And immediately the response was, I can't believe People put this out. She seems out of it. She's slurring her words. Her eyes look glassy. What is happening? And so she has responded to the negative response, which some of it was negative, but a lot of it was more like, why would People put this out? Why would her people allow the magazine to put this video out when she clearly isn't coming off 100% coherent? So she has since said, I was very tired. I hadn't slept for 3 days because I had a very sick dog or a dying dog or something, and I hadn't slept. And part of the interview was about her brother who had also passed and how traumatic that was for her. But, she has had her troubles. I remember there was a lot going on, with a custody battle with her daughter, and the daughter then went and lived with a husband in another country. And she, has been away for a while. And this is sort of her comeback. And she's trying to explain why, maybe she wasn't coming off that great. But she also says, social media is just dangerous and everything. Well, it's there. And part of social media is people can write comments, and we're never going to know who those people are, and they can say whatever they want unless they're famous, like the guy who owns Balthazar. Okay, so you're like, whatever. But I felt badly for her. And, when there's a contract with PR people and part of it involves the video, I don't know. It's like who's really handling you? Who's really handling your social media? Or do they really have your best interest? Maybe they're so used to seeing her kind of in that state, and we're not, because she's been out of the limelight for a while, that maybe her people thought the interview was fine and that was just Hayden being Hayden. I don't know, but that got a lot of talk. Let's get into the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. It premiered, and just like we talked about when we saw the trailer, it did not disappoint. It was all about Meredith was very upset. She's like, well, I'm upset with Whitney because Whitney came out with a bath bomb. Yeah, a bath bomb. And Heather Gay is like, Ed? Well, we all know baths are my thing. I'm famous for taking baths. And, they can't say I'm famous for taking baths on the show. But she's like, and I was going to come out with a bath bomb, and now she has. So they go to this event with Lisa Barlow, and they're all there. And there's a new girl there named Bronwyn. I know. I've never heard of the name Bronwyn until Bronwyn was on Real Housewives of OC. And now there's another Bronwyn spelled differently, and she is on Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. She's only 38. She's married to a 63-year-old guy, and she's really wealthy. So she gets to go to the fancy fashion shows and whatever. And she's wearing this big looks like a heart fur coat. It looks like a cartoon character. And she said it's $15,000 and there's only 3 of them. She's got one, Rihanna's got one, and one is in a museum. Apparently that's not true. There's many more than 3 that were made. Also, someone said that you can buy it on Amazon for $77, a dupe. So if you're looking for that, also kind of a fun Halloween costume. I'm just saying, you just need a red and white polka dot dress, a black wig, and this big heart thing. I gave you the idea. Watch. I might do it myself, so whatever. I don't really care. So she shows up. Mary is weirdly normal in the best sense. And you know what? If being on this show keeps her from stopping her weird cult, and I do think it's a cult, and that's my opinion, her weird church in which she married her stepfather so that she could take the reign of the church which her grandmother used to hold. We've heard the tapes of her screaming at her congregation and saying that you didn't give me enough money for my birthday. So I went to the church a couple years ago. It was boarded up. So I don't know if it's completely done with, but if the result of her being on the show and making an income from the show keeps her from berating her parishioners, then I am okay and I can enjoy her weirdness and her extravagant fashion style. I like, wearing all the labely stuff, all the clothes. She's got 8 rooms in her house and they're all just like makeshift closets. But she's kind of funny. And she's like, they're eating steak. And she's like, no, I won't have a piece of steak. I don't need a steak stuck in my colon for 9 months. And she's like, who is this girl? There's another new girl that shows up. And she says to the girl in the red heart thing, oh, I really like your costume. And she's like, who is this? Doesn't she know it's fashion, not a costume? So that's kind of fun. And then Lisa Barlow also gets mad at Whitney, not just for her bath bomb. That's Meredith's thing. Everyone knows I'm the one who takes baths. I have a very famous scene that I'm in a bathtub with Seth. And he said, what is it? Why are you sticking your toe up my taint? And that's our thing. And then, Whitney's response is like, everybody knows that Justin, my husband, and I like to take baths together too. And he also has a workable taint. So to think that she should have the market on bath bombs is a little ridiculous. And I don't get it. And then meanwhile, Lisa Barlow was like, well, I'm not happy with Whitney either. She did a podcast. I don't like podcasts. Podcasts can be dangerous. And she said I was the villain on a podcast. And why does she have to walk around doing podcasts talking about me? I have 2 sons that are very special. She started a rumor that I did something sexual to get Jazz tickets so my sons, Baby Gorgeous and Baby Gorgeous 2, could enjoy a basketball game. And that's not true. And Whitney's like, the podcast was for 2 hours. I barely talked about you. And when I did, I said a lot worse things than that you were the villain. So no, okay? Here's my healing. And here it is. She flipped her off. And then Lisa Barlow took the glass, which felt very old school Housewives. Like she was like, I've never thrown a glass before in a scene, so I think I'll do it now. And she just throws the glass out of nowhere and it shatters. And that's how the scene ends. So it's off to a roaring start. Heather Gay looks amazing. And everyone's like, why do you look so good? And she's like, Ozempic, baby. I like that she's just honest about it. She looks good. She's coming off quite normal in this first scene, first episode. And the fight of the bath bomb will continue. Support for today's Juicy Scoop episode comes from Honeylove. Honeylove has revolutionized the wireless bra game. Their bras feature supportive bonding that eliminates the need for uncomfortable wires and unnecessary bulk. You deserve a bra that's lightweight and comfortable without sacrificing support. Embrace freedom, flexibility, and comfort with Honeylove's wire-free bras. Plus, they're made with fabric that's so soft you'll forget you're wearing it. I absolutely love their relaxed lounge bra. I recommend their V-bra. It offers the support of a traditional bra without the uncomfortable underwire, and it's designed to lift and separate with molded cups. It is not like a shelf bra. You won't get that uni-boob effect. Honeylove is not just supporting women, it's empowering women. Treat yourself to the best bras on the market and save 20% off at honeylove.com/juicy. Use our exclusive link to get 20% off honeylove.com/juicy. Find your perfect fit. After you purchase, they ask you where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them we sent you. Elevate your comfort, elevate your style with bras that empower your lifestyle of flexibility. Everybody has a hair type, and I love Way because their shampoo and conditioners are made to deliver what is just right for you. I get dryness, especially at the end of my hair, and that is why I absolutely love Way's conditioning hair mask. It is for fine to medium and thick hair types, but it instantly restores hydration, fights frizz, and strengthens the strands. If you want to turn up a little volume, then you got to try the fine hair shampoo and conditioner. If you need detox shampoo, that's when you get that, really need that deep cleanse. I need that every couple washes because there is a buildup that comes from all my styling products, oil impurities. Wash your way to healthy hair and get your hair routine that's made just for you by Way. Go to THEOUAI.com, theway.com, and use promo code JUICY for 15% off any product. That's theway.com, TheOuai.com, code JUICY. We also got to see Real Housewives of OC this week, and there's a lot going on. First of all, Alexis Bellino did a post that bi-wig drama picked up, but she put this on her page, Alexis Bellino. Now, Alexis Bellino has been dating John Jansen, who used to date Shannon Bedore, and the audience are not thrilled with her behavior this season. They feel that she's and John are to the point of blackmailing her, constantly talking about how there's tapes, ring cameras from inside and outside of John's house from the night of Shannon's DUI, and that they are very damaging if they were to ever be seen. So Shannon's like, I said I would pay John Jansen the full amount as long as he signed a non-disparaging agreement. And he said no. He said no. And so why is he saying no? And she's like, because he needs that in case she talks about him again. You know, I've said this before. I really feel bad for everybody involved, because I understand why John Jansen feels like this wasn't great for him, walking around the town being known as Shannon Bedore's ex-boyfriend, only because Shannon Bedore would vent about him to her friends who were in fact cast members. And then those cast members would get together for coffee and they would talk about Shannon's awful relationship with John Jansen. And remember, when they brought that up to her, she was like, okay, well, now my relationship is ruined because John's going to freak out. So in her defense, I really do feel like she wasn't blatantly speaking poorly about John Jansen. It was that it was getting out there through these other ways that, you know, that she paid for everything, and that he would say mean things about her body or whatever. But we never saw it, and she never said it. So she's like, can I just pay you the $75 for the facelift and the loan, and like, let's just stop talking about each other. And so that's where we are now. Okay. So nobody's really appreciating that Alexis is back on the show and part of this tormenting of Shannon. So then Alexis wrote this on her page. I just want to let everyone know that what you are seeing in my career, I guess her career as a reality star, is not real. Oh, it's not the truth. There has been so much left out intentionally to paint me in a bad light. It's okay. I'll take one for the team to get ratings for this business. But I will live in the truth, and I will bring up the truth, whether I have to do it here on my Instagram page or if this career I choose decides to bring the truth out. Either way, it will come out, and you will see the true Alexis. Because what you are seeing on TV right now is not me. I love you all, and I do not hate you for hating me, because I would hate me too if I were you. You just hang tight. I'll be speaking the truth after every episode of what has been left out intentionally to paint me as someone I don't even know. It will actually intrigue you all. Live recaps of the truth starting from episode 1 coming ASAP on my IG. And then she goes, and by the way, I just want to thank my Glam Squad for this pic. So that's nice. So then she tagged her Glam Squad. Okay, so this is my thought on this. I totally understand why she's probably not happy. She's only a friend. She is not in the poster. But of course, that is what we're talking about, is her storyline. She is engaged to John. There's two things that can happen. One, she comes back next season. We see them get married, and Tamara's the maid of honor. Okay? That's something that I think the three of them are hoping that's going to happen. This post, I think, was a big mistake. And if she would have hired me or not hired me, sometimes I do things for free, as a housewife consultant, when she's like, I can't take it anymore, I'm going to put out this post, I would be like, slow your roll, girl. I'll never forget when Brandi Glanville said somewhere, yeah, I just tell my boys, mommy has to go to work. She has to fight with her friends. That's what mommy does. And I was like, okay, you're basically really breaking the fourth wall. And you're saying that what you are doing when the cameras are on is not real. And you really should not say that. I don't think Bravo appreciates that. So I think by saying this, because you're hearing all these chatter from these people, you should just sit back and just go, hey, I'll redeem myself next season. But by saying like, this isn't real, I'm going to explain everything that's not real. I'm going to tell you how magic revealed, what really went down in the scene, what was cut out, all that. I would not do that until you have been like officially not asked back for the next season. So if you're listening to this and you haven't started to do these tell-all recaps on your IG and you want to be asked back on the show, that is my suggestion. Bravo does not like lawsuits, and they don't like saying that this isn't real and revealing too much of the behind-the-scenes stuff while you're currently on the show. So there you go. Meanwhile, Emily was not happy with Heather Dubrow because she said, she was like, Heather got me a size 12 dress. And it was the same dress as Alexis, who was a size 2. And I'm not a size 12. I'm like, you know what? Can I have another espresso martini? God. So she wasn't happy with Heather Dubrow. And then Heather Dubrow said, I have news for you. The dress was tight on Emily. So a lot of people picked this up. Oh, and someone made this, and I think this was, I don't know who made this photo, so I apologize. DM me and I'll give you credit. But it was like, bitch, what the fuck? They made this like meme of this. And, oh God. I mean, you just have to be, there's just no way around this. It just wasn't good. It makes Heather look bitchy, but I think Heather was feeling like, I'm being attacked by putting her in the fashion show. And Heather said, I gave her 3 looks to make her the star. Most of the other girls had 2. And the final look was everybody is wearing this white classic shirt that Heather's selling in her line. And I told Emily, just bring your own jeans to wear. While the other girls got the black pants that she's also selling. So Emily thought, oh, you're making me feel like that I couldn't fit in your jeans. And I worked so hard on my body. But I saw why Heather was like, no, that wasn't the case. I just gave you 3 looks. And I was like, you could just bring your own jeans because I'm giving you a dress and a jacket to wear. So this is your 3rd look. So, but where she, again, made the mistake was saying the dress was tight on her. It wasn't. It fit her well. So maybe in this dress, she is a size 12. Regardless, she looked good. People shouldn't look at the scale or the sizes. But this was the fight. And I thought a lot of women could relate, of like, struggling with their weight or being around the skinny girl that's never had to struggle with her weight and her insensitivity towards Emily. So that was kind of interesting. Also, Leslie Bedore is married to David Bedore, former husband of Shannon Bedore. So Shannon and David were married. We saw them on the show, like the first 5 seasons of the show. They get divorced. After they get divorced, he meets Leslie Bedore. They have a baby together. They get married. They have been filing restraining orders and filing for divorce and getting back together at least 3 to 4 times in the last 2 years. Because when I looked up this article, it was an Us Weekly article from 2022. Now it seems to be official. They are, in fact, getting divorced. She got a temporary restraining order against him. And they're fighting over, what that divorce will look like. There's a prenup. So he's saying, I want to stick to the prenup. She, is the mother and needs funding to live her life the way she's been living. So we'll see what will happen with this. But wow, it didn't turn out well. And looks like he might have been the common denominator when we look at him and his relationships. But we'll see. Now let's talk about the Menendez brothers. It's called Monsters. It's scripted. It's by Ryan Murphy. It is on Netflix. It's available. I'm on episode 5. I'm not sure how many episodes there are. It starts out and it's almost like a little bit comical because it's like, right after the murders, these boys that murdered their parents in Beverly Hills. If you're listening to Juicy Scoop, you know about the Menendez brothers, but these rich Beverly Hills boys were convicted of killing their parents with shotguns, walked into the house, brutally shot them with huge guns, close range. And then for a couple months were spending money and living their life and acting like mafia people must have come and killed their dad because he was this powerful music executive. They got convicted, and this tells the story in a scripted way. The acting is excellent, especially as you get into like the 3rd and 4th episodes, and both the men playing Lyle and Eric, the brothers, are telling their abuse at the hands of the father to the woman playing the defense attorney, Leslie Aberson, was the real defense attorney. Those scenes are, I mean, definitely the guy playing Eric I guarantee will be nominated for an Emmy. The acting's really good. It is really harsh. It's stuff that we've always heard about in the trial. There's, but unless you probably read it in a book, you probably have never heard it this graphic. So, like, there's definitely a trigger warning to it because it's just really raw and in what they're sharing, and it's horrible. And so I say definitely watch it. And then there's also going to be a documentary October 7th, also on Netflix, in which we'll hear from Eric and Lyle Menendez, who are still behind bars doing life sentence because the second trial didn't involve the abuse, and that's the trial they were convicted on. The first one did involve the abuse in the testimony, and that was a hung jury. And then the other one, they didn't, and they were convicted. I think two things can be true at the same time. I 100% think they were brutally abused by the dad, 100%. But I also think they were greedy and they were real murderers. So I think they were both. I think they were victims and I think they were murderers. So in this particular case, it would be really interesting if there was a way that they could have another trial or something and they were to be released. They have done like 30 years, almost 30 years, I think. And they are both married. They've been married. One guy, Lyle, was married first to this woman named Anna. And I've told you this story, so I'll remind you. I was at like a fun dinner party, and this guy was a regular on the Jenny McCarthy sitcom with Heather Dubrow. And we're talking, and so this would have been like 96 or no, yeah, like around 96, I guess. And he's like, yeah, I came out here with my girlfriend, Anna, and every day when I was trying to audition and get parts, I'd come home and she'd be watching the trial. The whole trial was on court TV. And then one day the phone rings and it's like, will you accept a call from the blah, 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 Lyle Menendez? And to the point where the Lyle was like, put my girlfriend on the phone. He's like, what? Like, so they get married. And of course, I'm a comedian. So I was like, oh my God, well, I could see why she left you for him. You were still trying to be on TV. And for this husband was on TV every day in a starring role, like in the most watched trial ever. So they get married for 2 years. There's no conjugal visits for life sentences in California. But she finds out he's cheating on her, that Lyle is writing to other women, and so she divorces him. Another woman starts writing him, and that woman has been married to him for like 20 years, Lyle's wife. She lives close enough that she can to the jail. She visits him every week, a couple times a week. Eric met his wife. He's been with his wife for a really long time. They met in the 90s. This woman was married with her second husband, and then she had a 15-year-old daughter, and she started watching the trial, and she started to write Eric. And out of the thousands of letters that these guys got back then, he picked out her letter, and they started corresponding. She then finds out that her husband was raping her 15-year-old daughter. He was raping his stepdaughter. So he gets arrested and then kills himself. And so then she and Eric fall in love, and they get married and have a Twinkie wedding cake. And she had a 9-month-old baby with that other husband. So then that girl, the only father she really knows is Eric, and they visit him all the time. And again, no conjugal visits. They've never had sex. And they both say they have great wives, great marriages. That's what keeps them going. And we're going to hear from them in this documentary, which I think will be really interesting. So there you go. I've been obsessed with this murder since Juicy Scoop started. I was obsessed with it when the guy told me that his girlfriend had left him for Lyle. I mean, amazing. So yeah, here's the girlfriend here. The wives are Rebecca and Tammy. Martha Stewart's not happy with Netflix. She's not. There's a documentary coming out about her. And Netflix put her on a jet and sent her to the film festival thinking all would be good. And she did interviews and she's like, I'm not pleased with it. It's all about when I went to prison for the alleged, because I think she always claimed her innocence, but it was insider stock trading situation. She did time in prison. And she's like, I was supposed to be a collaborator, yet the director wouldn't make any changes, wouldn't change anything in the film, and I'm not happy. But she said they want to do another documentary. So maybe it'll be more her story in the next one if this one does well. But there's some juice there. Also from Ryan Murphy, he is going to do part of his American Story series, that franchise. The next story he's going to do is about John F. Kennedy Jr. and Carolyn, his wife. That I am going to be so excited for. I love all these things, maybe because I love that Ryan Murphy just, picks up things like from our 20s. I don't know how old he is. I figure he's around my age. And these big stories that we lived through hard copy and buying tabloids and that pop culture from like 25, 30 years ago, whether it's Menendez brothers, OJ, this. He really does a great job with it. And I'm dying to see who they'll cast in this. And actually, the guy, I think his first name is Connor, who plays Eric, he would be excellent. He could absolutely play John F. Kennedy in this series. So can't wait for that. Speaking of Kennedys, this story came out over the weekend. Robert F. Kennedy, who was running for president, is not right now. However, allegedly, they're saying he had like an emotional texting, cheating affair with this woman who's 31, who wrote for New York Magazine's political segments. She's a very pretty blonde. She was engaged to another guy. That engagement has now ended. They put her on an indefinite leave, I guess. And she interviewed him, and then she met him once, and they went for a hike. And according to this, there was an emotional affair. There were textings that were inappropriate going back and forth between them. Nothing that says they ever physically got together. My question is, how would they have known this? Why would she reveal it? Who found it? How did this story, if there wasn't, was it her fiance who was like so pissed and saw the text and was like, I'm letting your bosses know. And then once they knew, they had to go through the proper channels, because obviously they shouldn't have a reporter reporting on someone that she has a, inappropriate relationship with. They want it to stay unbiased. So we don't know. We haven't heard from Cheryl or Robert F. Kennedy, I don't think. Cheryl Hines of Curb Your Enthusiasm. I knew her for many years from the Groundlings. They've been married for like 10 years. And but Cheryl went on with her life and was with her daughter from her previous marriage, and her stepdaughter, his daughter. They all went to like Fashion Week in Milan. And according to the people at Sard Fashion Week, she was not wearing her wedding ring. So we'll see what happens. But there you go. Also, Deadline is reporting, this is really kind of interesting. Tia and Tamera, remember from Sister Sister, those two cute girls. So Tia is the one, she has a new show on WeTV, a docuseries about her life now, where she's recently divorced. So we're going to follow her. And in the bio, it says, this is about her life without her husband, without her sister. They asked her sister, Tamera, what do you think about your sister Tia's new show? And she goes, actually, I didn't even know it was happening. This is the first time hearing it. I wish we were closer. There's been times in my life recently that I would have really liked to pick up the phone, but we're just not in that place. She's just not in a place where she wants to hear, my opinion of things. So a lot of people speculating why. Why could these twins, and I believe they're identical twins, how could these twins that did this, that we got to know them in Hollywood for their sitcom, why are they not close? So Tamera was the one that went on The Real. She was on The Real for many years. And I believe she is still married to her husband. And she has had her time of tragedy. On her husband's side, sadly, his niece was a victim of the shooting in Thousand Oaks that happened a few years ago, and she was a college student. So that was really traumatic. Then the show The Real ended, and now Tia, who wasn't on The Real, Tia, the other sister, now she has her own show, and she's recently divorced. And I think that's part of the story. I think they were maybe just having an adult like break up as sisters, kind of doing their own thing, maybe just like, and then Tia got the opportunity to have her own reality show. And I think the producers are like, well, wait, let's not have your sister in it. I think it's more interesting that we really share your real life. And if your real life is that you guys are like in this weird place, let's show it. That's women love. I mean, if one thing we've learned from Housewives, women are obsessed with why, whether they're sisters, whether it's Dina Manzo and Caroline Manzo of Real Housewives of New Jersey, or sister-in-laws, Teresa and Melissa Gorga, or real sisters and identical twin sisters. We always want to know, why are these women no longer friends? What happened? What's the real truth behind it? So I think this is going to get us to watch it and kind of see what happens. And I think there'll be little hints throughout what happened. Maybe there'll be a big reveal. And then maybe if it's a hit and they get along and they make up, then we can see the sister. But also I just think Tamera got to be on The Real for like 9 years and Tia didn't. And I think Tia was like, I want my own thing. I just want my own thing. And this opportunity has come up. And I want to show people I'm like entertaining and interesting on my own without my sister. And I'm not going to tell my sister about it because I don't want her to hop on it. It could have been that too. I just want to have my own thing. So we'll see with that. Also, there's a hot priest on Jeopardy. Everyone's freaking out. He's a priest out of a Catholic church in Austin, and he got on Jeopardy, and he's wearing his priest outfit. He's young. Kind of reminds me of like Sex in the City when Kim Cattrall's like, I found a hot priest. I'm going to get communion every day. I'm going straight to the altar and kneeling down. So she's going to confession, all this stuff. So this guy's good looking and he's young. And so the comments, everyone's freaking out that he's a hot priest. But the thing about it is, I thought priest took a vow of poverty. So I'm guessing whatever money he will make, though I don't know if he's still on it, but I don't know how much money he made on it. Where does that money go? Does that just go right into the parish? What happens with it? I'm a little bit curious. Also, a Chinese zoo didn't have any pandas, and I guess they still wanted people to come to see the pandas. So they took dogs, kind of those fluffy dogs. I don't know what kind of dogs they're called. And they spray painted them or put makeup on them or whatever to make them look like pandas. And at first glance, I saw the video, you're like 100% they're pandas. But then when you see them panting and stuff, you're like, oh my God. So it was like Halloween came early. And I'm excited for this documentary. I want to see the documentary of who decided where they found these dogs. Did they take these dogs from people's homes? How did they figure out which dog would be the easiest breed to make them look like pandas? And was it like spray paint? Was it proper hair dye? Like, I want to know everything about this story. I'm so sick of these two. Every day we have to see an article, Us Weekly. Former GMA host TJ Holmes joked about attending couples therapy with Amy Robach. Every time I see a post, I'm like, okay, they broke up, right? They broke up. I guess this is all like, I guess you just have to listen to their podcast just to hear about the relationship. But now they want to go to couples therapy. Like, who cares? Like, I don't understand. I guess it was just a slow day and someone listened to it and wrote about it. But like, yeah, you probably should go to couples therapy. All you do is talk about your how exhausting of if all your whole relationship is talking about your relationship and then getting on your podcast and talking about that relationship. Oh, so annoying. I started watching The Golden Bachelorette and people are liking it. She's really pretty. She's really classy. She said that she's a widow And right off the bat, when she was being interviewed to be the Bachelorette, she said, I do not want to have a traditional, in the sense of the Bachelor, traditional overnight suites with the 3 guys in the end. I want to have that time, but that time will just be like a living room, no bed, and it'll just be time for us to hang out with no cameras. But it will not involve, I will not be sleeping with anybody before the engagement, if there is an engagement. So that's kind of unique. Saw the guys, like, there was a couple that I was like, okay, I could maybe, if I was a widow, see myself dating that person. But I don't know. I'll keep watching. I'm not like totally into it. I found out that the bedazzled, because I said, oh, apparently you can't bedazzle the ankle bracelet for Anna Delvey. So someone let me know that it was like a cloth that they bedazzled and then put around the ankle bracelet. So then she can take it off and then have another cloth to match it. So she'll have a new ankle bracelet cloth around probably until she makes it or gets kicked off. But they were interviewing one of the famous dancers, and they're like, how did you think her dancing was? And she goes, well, I think it was a little off because that ankle bracelet weighs some weight. And if she needs like a equal weight on the other side of her leg to help her dancing not look like one leg is weighted down. And I thought that was kind of funny. So let's see if that happens. And maybe she now has 2 for the dancing, since it was Cheryl Burke who said that. All right, you guys, thank you. I dropped a lot of juice on you, a lot of things to think about. And thank you. Remember, go to heathermcdonald.net for all those dates and for the meet and greets, which are before the shows. But also, if you missed out on the meet and greet, we always do a fun thing at the end where then you can whip out your cameras and take photos of us and all of that. So it's such a great experience, though I do love meeting people in person before. So go check out heathermcdonald.net. Get your tickets for the shows that are there. Also the ones in February that are now have been rescheduled for February, New York, DC, and Red Bank, New Jersey. All of those are at heathermcdonald.net, along with joining my Patreon. Thank you. Honeylove has revolutionized the wireless bra game. Their bras feature supportive bonding that eliminates the need for uncomfortable wires and unnecessary bulk. You deserve a bra that's lightweight and comfortable without sacrificing support. Embrace freedom, flexibility, and comfort with Honeylove's wire-free bras. Honeylove is not just supporting women, it's empowering women. Treat yourself to the best bras on the market and save 20% off at honeylove.com/juicy. Use our exclusive link to get 20% off honeylove.com/juicy. Find your perfect fit. After you purchase, they ask you where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them we sent you. Elevate your comfort, elevate your style with bras that empower your lifestyle of flexibility.